Hey, it's your friend Christiano, and welcome to the Queer Quest podcast. Hey, my gorgeous Queer Questers. Welcome back to another episode of the Queer Quest podcast, where we gather, we grow, and glow all the way into our most unapologetic queer selves. Today, we're diving into something deeply necessary, radically alive, and I'll be honest, emotionally charged. Queer activism beyond the ballot box. Because Pride Month might be over, but the fight, the movement, the everyday resistance, oh honey, it's just getting started. So if you get value out of today, which I trust that you will, then can you please do this episode and the podcast a huge favor and help boost it to others in the queer community by liking, commenting, sharing, tagging, subscribing, or reviewing us, as this does more than you know towards getting this episode in the hands of the queer people who need it most. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Voting is not the whole story. Let's start here. Voting is important. Civic engagement is powerful. I vote, and I encourage you to vote. But let's not pretend that casting a ballot every few years is the pinnacle of queer liberation. Too many of us, especially trans, disabled, BIPOC, undocumented, poor, neurodivergent, and houseless queer folks don't have the luxury of believing that voting alone will save us. It's like being thrown into a burning building and handed a water balloon. Yep, it'll help a little, but what about the fire itself? The structure, the system that built the building out of gasoline-soaked dreams in the first place? Activism doesn't start in November or in whatever month your country starts their political voting experiences. Activism doesn't start and end every single 3 or 4 years. Queer resistance is everyday life. It's organizing a rent strike with your chosen family. It's delivering hormone replacement therapy to a trans person across town. It's standing up in your workplace, your school, your family dinner, and saying, actually, no, I will be queer here. It's mutual aid. It's collective healing. It's that moment you turn your own survival into a spark that lights someone else's path. The emotional weight of just vote. Let's talk about the guilt trip too. How many times have you been told, just vote? If you don't vote, you can't complain. This is the most important election of your lifetime. And you're standing there, burnt out, broke, grieving, surviving, thinking, is that all I'm worth in this country? A vote? We need to name the emotional toll of being reduced to a voter instead of being seen as full, complex human being in need of care, in need of safety, and in need of systematic change. And we need to reclaim the truth. We are more than voters. We are cultural shapers. We are change makers. We are everyday revolutionaries. So, what's coming next? We're going to get into the juicy stuff. The rise of queer-led grassroots movements in 2025. Why mutual aid is sexier than a rainbow campaign sticker, and how you, yes, you, can be a badass activist without burning out. So take a breath, let it sink in, and stay tuned. Your queerness is political. Your existence is sacred. And the revolution, it's already happening in your living room, your voice, your art, your rage, your softness. Hey, love. While I've got you, I want to gift you with something powerful. Something I wish I had when I was cracked open and crawling through the mess of heartbreak, shame, and that deep ache of, why am I like this? If you've ever felt like healing is this confusing, invisible maze where you're just surviving one emotional breakdown after another. If you've been wondering, is something wrong with me? I want you to know, you're not lost. You're not broken. You're becoming. Most queer people were never given a roadmap for healing. We were taught to hide, to perform, and to shrink. We've been gaslit by religion, erased by culture, and taught to just get over it. But healing isn't a straight line, especially when you're queer. It's not just about feeling better. It's about coming home to your queer, radiant, whole hour self. That's why I created the Journey to Queer Healing, a free guide that maps out the 18 emotional stages of queer healing. It's not just theory, it's your soul's survival map. You'll see where you are, what's next, and what's possible on the other side of the pain. This guide has helped hundreds of queer people realize it's not just me. I'm not behind. I finally understand what I'm going through. Download the guide today. Let it remind you, your healing isn't random. It's divine. Download it now via the link in the show notes. Or you can comment guide on this video or on any of my socials, and I'll send it directly to you. And when you're ready to go deeper, join us for the Queer Comeback webinar. Let's make your healing sacred and make your comeback legendary. I'll see you on the journey. Welcome back, beautiful souls. If you're just tuning in, this is part 2 of Queer Activism Beyond Voting. And trust me, it only gets juicier from here. We've already unpacked the way of performative politics, and now we're stepping into the radiant heart of queer resistance, where everyday acts become revolutionary. So let's get into it. Queer resistance as daily practice. Let's deconstruct the word activist for just a second. For many of us, that word conjures up megaphones, marches, protest signs, and angry crowds, right? But what if being an activist also looked like bringing groceries to your immunocompromised queer neighbor, starting a zine that tells your truth when no one else will, hosting a queer support circle in your backyard? Activism doesn't have to be loud. It can be soft, it can be nurturing, and it can be deeply relational. Every time that we choose authenticity over assimilation, we're resisting. Every time we tell our stories in a world that tried to silence us, we're rising. And every time we support each other in our mess, our magic, our mourning, and our joy, we're doing the damn work. The rise of queer-led movements. 2025 has been full of powerful, grassroots, queer-led organizing. Now, we're seeing trans youth creating digital havens that are safer than most classrooms. Disabled queer folks leading the charge on accessibility and care webs. Black and brown queer folks reclaiming ancestral land for healing and resistance. Online mutual aid funds outpacing nonprofit bureaucracies in real-time support. This is no longer about fitting into systems that weren't made for us. It's about building new ones. Radically inclusive, decentralized, consent-driven, and rooted in something far more sacred than politics. Belonging. The power of digital resistance. Social media has become both a battlefield and a sanctuary. Queer creators are using TikTok and Threads not just to entertain us, but they're to also trying to educate, organize, and dismantle the systems that have failed us. And you can check more of my own, TikTok and Threads, by the links that are there below as well. If you just want to see what I'm sharing as well, if you aren't following already, right? We are together sharing resources in seconds, mobilizing protests across cities and borders, shifting the cultural narrative through memes and reels and podcasts just like this one. But also, let's be real, digital burnout is real, and algorithms aren't built with our liberations in mind. So while we praise the power, we also have to hold space for the boundaries. You don't have to be online to be revolutionary. You just have to be real. Coming up next, we're going to name the elephant in the rainbow draped room. Rainbow washing, corporate co-optation, and why queer liberation will never be sold on a t-shirt. So hydrate, breathe, check in with yourself. This movement is a marathon, and we're walking it together, barefoot and bold. Hey babe, quick moment before we dive back in. I have a question for your soul. Have you ever felt like you lost yourself somewhere along the way? Maybe it was the breakup that shattered you, or the years spent hiding, bending, blending just to feel safe. Or maybe it's the quiet ache that whispers there has to be more to this life than just surviving. Well, I want to invite you to something that's not just a webinar. It's a comeback, a queer one, a sacred, fabulous, F the rules kind of comeback. It's called the Queer Comeback Webinar, and inside, I'm sharing the 3 secrets every queer soul needs to know to come home to themselves, unapologetically, spiritually, powerfully. This isn't about fixing you, because you're not broken. This is about remembering who the F you are. If you're tired of dimming your light, people-pleasing, or playing small just because of society's judgment, come. This is your moment. Not someday, not when, you're more ready. Now. Tap the link in the show notes, or just comment "come back" and I'll send you the link. Reserve your free spot now. And if you're multitasking right now, pause this video for just 1 second and do this for you. Your comeback isn't deserved, it's overdue. I'll see you there, my love. All right, fam. Welcome back to part 3 of Queer Activism Beyond Voting. And now, we need to talk about it. The glittery elephant in the rainbow-drenched room. Rainbow washing, corporate co-optation, allyship for profit. Because let's be honest, we've all seen it. When your existence becomes a marketing strategy, it's June. You walk into a store and suddenly everything is rainbow. We've got pride mugs, we've got pride socks, we've got pride dog leashes. And in the corner, a self-congratulatory sign from a mega corporation that donated to anti-LGBTQIA plus politicians last month. Yeah, I'm talking about that. Rainbow washing is when corporations pretend to support queer folks to gain the social clout and their business. But they don't hire us, they don't protect us, they don't fund our communities, and they disappear the minute July 1st hits. Where are they now? Our identities are not a sales pitch. Our fight for liberation cannot be outsourced to marketing departments. Authentic support versus profit-driven performances. So what does real support look like? What it looks like is paying queer people, especially trans and BIPOC folks, for their work. Amplifying queer voices year-round, not just in Pride season. Funding grassroots, on-the-ground queer initiatives. Making sure their own employees feel safe, affirmed, and seen. Now, if a company waves a rainbow flag while contributing to systemic harm, then that flag is nothing but a smokescreen. And I'll say it louder for the brands in the back. Visibility without action is just another form of erasure. The future is community built. The real revolution isn't sponsored. It's not mass produced. It's not branded or bottled. It's found in your queer collective meeting in a basement, in a sign printed with love and rage, in a crowd-funded shelter for queer youth, in kitchen tables turned into strategy hubs. Queer liberation doesn't come from rainbow logos. It comes from us, from community, from care, from the deep knowing that we've always saved ourselves, and we always will. Next up, we're going to bring this episode home by answering the question, what can I do? Now, if you've ever wondered how you can take action, even if you're introverted, even if you're overwhelmed, even if you're broke, even if you're burnt out, this next part is for you. So stay with me, fam. We're not just imagining better worlds, we're building them together. Hey, love, before you go, I need to tell you something important. You weren't meant to do this healing journey alone. You weren't meant to figure out your queer identity, your purpose, your healing, your worth in silence. So if you've been listening and thinking, I'm ready, I want to transform, I want to live fully, I just don't know how, this is your sign. This is your queer comeback. Welcome to Queer Quest Pro, a revolutionary 12-month journey of queer healing, growth, and transformation in every area of your life, from your mental and emotional health to your spiritual connection, purpose, finances, identity, relationships. This is your full circle evolution. We guide you month by month through the queer wellness wheel of life with workshops, live coaching, quests, rituals, and a global community of queer souls rising together. It's the place for woke queer humans who are ready to rise unapologetically. Because healing is hard, but healing in community, that's sacred. And baby, you deserve sacred. Are you ready to live a life that actually feels like yours? Click the link in the show notes to join us now. Doors are open. We're waiting for you inside. This is your comeback. Don't miss it. Welcome to the final part, my loves. We've called out performative politics. We've named the rainbow washing. We've lifted up fear-led movements. Now let's bring this all back to you. Because I know what some of you might be thinking. Christiano, I'm not a full-time activist. I'm tired. I'm healing. I'm just one person. What can I actually do? Let's talk about that. Activism doesn't have to look one way. There's this myth that activism has to be fair, has to be visible, and it has to be loud. But here's the truth. Activism can be soft, can be slow, can be sacred. You can be the one who texts your friend after a protest and remind them to drink water. The one who begs for a community potluck. The one who writes poems that name what the news won't. The one who holds space for grief, for rage, for joy. Core activism is relational. It is cultural. It is spiritual. It's every time that you say, this is who I am, and I deserve to exist fully and freely. Small actions can create big ripple effects. Here are real, tangible ways that you can show up. Educate yourself and others. Read queer history, share queer futures, and pass the mic along. Support queer businesses, queer artists, and queer creators online. Your money is a vote. Spend it with intention. Check in on your people, especially your trans, disabled, BIPOC, queer kin. Join or support, mutual aid efforts. You don't have to lead, just plug in where you can. Practice inner activism. Unlearn the internalized shame that you were taught. Embody queer joy, because that is resistance too. A movement rooted in love. Queer liberation doesn't just fight systems. It replaces them with connection, with community, with care. Activism isn't just about burning it all down. It's about building things worth coming home to. So let your activism look like a queer brunch, a healing circle, a love letter, a playlist, a podcast episode that you share with a friend. Because at the end of the day, activism isn't about perfection. It's about commitment to each other, to the future, to the possibility that we together are the revolution. Final thoughts. Now, if you've made it this far, I want you to take a deep breath with me. You are already doing more than you know. And the work you do, no matter how small that it may seem, it is sacred. So I want to thank you for being part of this moment. I want to thank you for being part of this movement. Now, you can check out the resource section in the show notes below. Some free resources that have helped many queer people take that next step on their own healing and growth journey. And if you're interested, of course, you can also check out Queer Quest Pro, a 12-month adventure that will shift your entire perspective on queer life and activism in 2025 and beyond. Now, if the episode spoke to your heart, share it with your chosen family, drop us a review, and let us know in the comments, what are your thoughts on the state of the world for queer people in 2025, and what are you going to do next? This is the Queer Quest podcast, and I'm your host, Christiano, reminding you that queerness is power, activism is personal, and love is the most radical thing that we've got. Until next time, stay loud, stay tender, and stay unapologetically you. Always remember, you've got this, I've got you. Bye for now.